Have you ever looked around your life and quietly wondered, why don't I feel happy? You have a roof over your head, food on your table, maybe a loving family, friends who care about you, a stable job. You smile in photos. You laugh at jokes. From the outside, everything seems perfectly fine. Yet when the day finally becomes quiet, when the phone is put away, when nobody is watching, there's a strange feeling inside. Not sadness. Not anger. Just emptiness. It's like standing in a beautiful house where every room is fully decorated, but somehow, nobody lives inside it. And perhaps the hardest part is that you don't even know how to explain it. Because when life looks good, you almost feel guilty for feeling empty. You tell yourself, I have no reason to feel this way. So you keep pretending. You keep functioning. But deep inside, something feels missing. Most people think that feeling empty only happens after loss, failure, heartbreak, or trauma. But the truth is, some of the emptiest people are living the lives everyone else dreams about. Because emptiness is rarely caused by what you have. It's often caused by what your mind quietly stopped feeling. Today, we're going beneath the surface of this invisible emotion. We'll explore why the brain can become emotionally disconnected even during successful moments, why achievement sometimes makes the emptiness even louder, and most importantly, how people slowly find themselves again. Because what feels like an empty room may actually be a signal. A signal that your mind is asking for something success alone could never provide. Let's begin. Imagine your emotions as an iceberg. The part everyone sees is your smile, your career, your relationships, your daily routine. But beneath the water, there is another world. Hidden needs. Unspoken fears. Forgotten dreams. Psychologist Carl Jung believed that people suffer when they become disconnected from parts of themselves they refuse to acknowledge. He called this the unconscious. Imagine wearing a mask for so many years that eventually you forget what your real face looks like. Many people spend years becoming exactly who others expect them to be. The responsible child. The successful student. The reliable employee. The perfect partner. Each role earns approval. Each role feels safe. But little by little, the authentic self becomes quieter. Take someone who spent their entire life chasing excellent grades because that's what made their parents proud. Years later, they build a successful career. They earn good money. Everyone congratulates them. Yet every morning they wake up with a strange question. Whose dream am I actually living? The hidden consequence isn't simply unhappiness. It's disconnection. You stop recognizing your own desires. And when you lose connection with yourself, even a full life can begin to feel emotionally empty. But this is only the first layer. Because sometimes the problem isn't who you've become. It's how your brain has learned to experience reward. Think of your brain as a lighthouse. Its purpose is to guide you toward meaningful experiences. One of the chemicals involved is dopamine. Many people believe dopamine creates happiness. Actually, dopamine is more connected to anticipation than lasting satisfaction. It motivates you to chase the next goal, the next promotion, the next purchase, the next vacation, the next achievement. But once you finally arrive, the excitement fades surprisingly fast. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain quickly adjusts to what once felt extraordinary. Imagine finally buying the car you've wanted for years. The first week feels incredible. A month later, it simply becomes your normal car. Then your mind quietly starts searching for something else. Without realizing it, life becomes an endless treadmill. You keep running. But emotionally, you stay in the same place. Like drinking salt water to satisfy thirst. The more you consume without deeper meaning, the thirstier you become. This creates a dangerous illusion. You believe the answer is simply another achievement, another goal, another milestone. But sometimes your soul isn't asking for more success. It's asking for more connection. Which brings us to another hidden reason people feel empty. Human beings are not designed to survive emotionally alone. Attachment theory tells us that our earliest relationships shape how safe we feel emotionally throughout life. If love during childhood felt conditional, if affection depended on performance, if emotions were ignored, your nervous system may have learned something dangerous. I am valuable only when I achieve. As adults, these people often become incredibly successful. But they struggle to feel emotionally secure. Imagine someone receiving praise at work. Instead of enjoying it, their mind immediately whispers, "What if I can't do it again?" Or imagine returning home after an incredible day. Instead of feeling peaceful, silence suddenly feels uncomfortable. So they reach for their phone, social media, television, anything to avoid sitting with themselves. Because underneath the silence lives an old fear. The fear that without constant performance, they are not enough. It's like living inside a beautiful theater where every audience applauds. Yet backstage, the actor secretly believes they are a fraud. Eventually, applause no longer reaches the heart. Only exhaustion does. And that exhaustion creates even more emptiness. But perhaps the deepest psychological trap is this one. Many people become experts at avoiding their own emotions. Our brains naturally try to protect us from pain. The amygdala, one of the brain's emotional alarm systems, reacts strongly to emotional threats. Sometimes, instead of feeling painful emotions, the mind quietly numbs everything. Imagine turning down the volume because one sound hurts your ears. Eventually, you don't just silence the painful music. You silence the beautiful music too. A breakup, childhood loneliness, years of stress, constant emotional pressure. Instead of processing these experiences, some people stay endlessly busy. Always working. Always scrolling. Always planning. Always distracted. Life keeps moving. But emotionally, nothing heals. Picture a detective who locks every unsolved case inside a cabinet. The office looks organized. But eventually there are so many locked files that the detective can't even move around the room. Unprocessed emotions work the same way. The emptiness isn't the absence of feeling. It's buried feeling. The mind protects you by building emotional walls. But walls keep pain out. And joy too. This is why some people laugh without feeling happiness. Smile without feeling warmth. Celebrate without feeling alive. Fortunately, this story doesn't end there. Because emptiness is not a life sentence. It's information. It's your mind's way of saying something important has been ignored. The first step isn't chasing another achievement. It's rebuilding your relationship with yourself. Start by asking questions instead of demanding answers. Psychologists often use reflective journaling because it helps reconnect the conscious and unconscious mind. Instead of asking, "Why am I unhappy?" try asking, "When do I feel most alive?" Notice the difference. One question searches for problems. The other searches for truth. Maybe you feel alive while creating, helping someone, walking alone in nature, learning, teaching, playing music, having deep conversations. These moments become clues, like following small lights through a dark forest. The second principle is learning to slow down enough to actually feel. Cognitive behavioral therapy teaches that emotions become easier to understand when we stop automatically reacting to them. Imagine coming home after work. Instead of immediately opening your phone, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Notice what your body feels. Notice what thoughts appear. Don't judge them. Observe them like clouds crossing the sky. At first it feels uncomfortable. Then surprisingly, you begin hearing emotions that were whispering all along. Awareness is the beginning of healing. The third principle is replacing constant achievement with meaningful connection. Research consistently shows that strong relationships predict emotional well-being better than money or status alone. This doesn't require dozens of friends. Sometimes one honest conversation changes everything. Imagine calling someone not because you need advice, but because you want to share how you're actually feeling. No pretending. No performing. Just honesty. Real connection reminds the nervous system that acceptance doesn't always have to be earned. The fourth principle is allowing yourself to become curious again. Children rarely feel empty because they naturally explore. Adults often stop exploring once life becomes predictable. Try something that has no productive purpose. Paint badly. Learn photography. Cook a completely new recipe. Take a different route home. Read a book outside your usual interests. Novel experiences stimulate the brain differently. They remind you that life is larger than your routine. Think of your mind as a garden. Routine waters the same flowers. Curiosity plants new seeds. Finally, practice self-compassion, not self-pity. There is an important difference. Psychologist Kristen Neff's research shows that treating ourselves with kindness during difficult moments improves emotional resilience far more than harsh self-criticism. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you would comfort a close friend. You wouldn't say, "What's wrong with you?" You'd probably say, "You've been carrying a lot lately. It's okay to slow down." Those words don't magically solve everything, but they create emotional safety. And healing always begins where safety exists. The truth is, feeling empty doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. And it certainly doesn't mean your life has no meaning. Sometimes, it simply means you've been surviving for so long that you forgot how to truly connect. With yourself, with others, and with the moments that make life feel real. Remember the empty house we imagined at the beginning? Maybe it was never truly empty. Maybe the lights were simply turned off. One by one. With honesty. With curiosity. With courage. You can switch them back on. Carl Jung once suggested that the privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. Perhaps that journey doesn't begin with becoming someone new. Perhaps it begins by returning to the person you've quietly left behind. If today's video resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Have you ever felt empty even when everything looked fine on the outside? Your story might remind someone else that they are not alone. If you enjoyed this exploration of psychology, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. Thank you for watching until the end. This is MentaraX. Keep exploring the hidden psychology of the human mind. I'll see you in the next video.